I want to chat a little bit about creating a lifeline list. As a dad, I have a list of people that I call in an emergency. If my child swallows a dishwashing tablet, I have poison control on that list. If my child falls off his bike, I have our family doctor and local hospital on that list. If my child were bored and wanted to play with a friend, I have all of their friends' contacts on that list, and so on. And should my friends' parents be on an emergency list? Well, yes, and I'll tell you why. When I'm busy, as I often am, and I'm trying to hunt down a friend for my son to play with, I just want to go to my list of numbers right in front of me in black and white. So no matter what the circumstances or the need, I can go right to my list. Especially in the case of an emergency, I'm not in the right frame of mind to think. So having those numbers right in front of me on paper is very helpful. Similar to after betrayal, we have many needs that would benefit from a resource right at our fingertips. The last thing we want to do is think when our mind is already buzzing and racing. So I'm hoping your takeaway after this class is to start brainstorming, preferably even start creating your own lifeline list. I've compiled a few questions to get you thinking of some of the things that could potentially go on your list. Keep in mind that each of you will have your own unique list, your own resources on that list catered to your personal needs. So number one, what apps, sites, videos, friends, or family members could you tap into if you're having a major life crisis or a trigger, or if your mind is just racing and it feels like the walls are closing in on you? This is one of the first things to think about. Who or what apps or such um, can you go to in the moment where you're having a crisis, and it could basically talk you off the ledge. Number two, what apps, sites, videos, friends, family members could you tap into if you wake up in the middle of the night from a terrible nightmare? You know, um, when I was 7 years old, we had a major house fire, and basically our house was burned down to the ground. The only thing standing was our chimney. Everything inside the house was completely gone in the fire, all ashes. And I remember when I was betrayed, and I went through a very, very rough period. And there was a time when I was waking up in the middle of the night quite a few times. And actually, I woke up to smelling the fumes of that fire that happened 40 years ago. So basically, what I had to do is write a list of things to do when that happened. Was it EFT tapping? Was it journaling? What apps or videos did I have on hand to kind of calm my mind and bring me down there? So basically, the question is, who or what can you tap into if you wake up in the middle of the night and from a nightmare or a trigger from being betrayed? Number three, what friends, family members could you tap into if and when you're feeling lonely in general and just need someone to chat with? And this could be either virtually or in person. So these are just on days where you're kind of feeling blasé. You just want somebody to call and kind of just touch base, have some human interaction. Number four, what apps, sites, videos, friends, or families could you tap into if you need a laugh? One of the big things after betrayal is humor. So a lot of us have that one quirky friend or family member that often makes us laugh. If we don't have a friend or a family member, what DVDs, podcasts, videos, or movies or shows are certain to bring you some laughs? Write all these down so you have an immediate visual list of those times and resources you could use when a much needed laugh is sought out or in store. Number five, what apps, sites, videos, friends, or family members could you tap into if you need motivation, whether it's on a lingering project, exercise, what have you? My brother-in-law is actually a personal trainer. And sometimes if I'm just not in the mood whatsoever to exercise, I'll just give him a quick text or a quick call. And I'm like, Andy, I am so not motivated to exercise today. And within a few minutes or seconds, he'll say something that really gets me motivated. So basically, who can you tap into, or what can you tap into on those days where you're just feeling completely unmotivated. Number 6, what friends, family members, church organizations, pastors, priests, etc., could you reach out to if you need someone to pray with or some spiritual guidance? If you have favorite comforting verses from the Bible or anything spiritual that um, comforts you or renews you or gives you some hope, write all of these down on that list, because again, this is a go-to list for an emergency. You don't want to think outside this list. You just want to go to the list. It's all right there. Number 7, what apps or videos do you have saved or favorited those times you need to hear something soothing or relaxing? After betrayal, our mind often races. So write down who or what can help you when your mind is racing. Is it some soothing YouTube music? Is it an app where it's just calming music? Or is, whatever it is that could help soothe you. Number 8, if you take care of kids or senior parents, who can you call or reach out to if you need someone to come over and stay with them while you go for a walk, go for a ride, cry in your bedroom for an hour or so? Is this a friend? Is this a family member, a neighbor? Oftentimes you can find help if you don't have any of the other ones on apps like I think there's care.com, there's Thumbtack. All of these have a ton of professionals. Even if they're not professionals, they went through thorough background checks. Again, you may never use these, but someone just to keep on hand in case of an emergency. Number 9, if you have kids in school or in programs, after school programs and such, who can you put on their emergency list to call and pick them up if need be? I've been on a few of these lists before. Basically, somebody that has been betrayed or going through something severe, who lie in bed in the fetal position and cry, and they just don't have the energy to get up. And if they do, they certainly don't want to see their kids' teachers or what have you with red eyes. And like I said, I've been on these lists. So basically, I'll get a call or a text and it says, sorry, in the fetal position, cannot get out of bed. Can you go pick up so and so? I will go ahead and pick up so and so. That gives them, extra little hour or whatever they need. Just to stay in bed, to feel their emotions. And this is a great resource for those times when you're in need. And it really relieves a ton of pressure and stress at a time when it's needed most. Number 10, who can reach out to you when you need help keeping your house tidy or clean? Again, if not a friend or a relative, maybe an app or calling a business to hire a professional. I know a beautician who actually put an ad in her local paper saying she would exchange house cleaning services for her services. She didn't have the money to pay for a professional, and she didn't have any friends or relatives that would help come clean her house. But she did need some help around the house because she was just not motivated to clean because she was in a state of depression or despair. So what happened was a couple people answered her ad actually, but she has somebody who comes in and cleans her house twice a month for about 2 hours. And at the end of the month, she does, this amazing, whatever they need, a cut and color and blah, blah, blah. And so basically her house is nice and clean. So she feels better about herself and she has no problem giving a couple hours a month to, she can make herself available and emotionally ready for that. So it's just a really wonderful reciprocal service. So again, is there somebody to help with, house cleaning, or if not, can you bargain something? Number 11, what apps, sites, friends, or family members could you tap into if you need someone to cook or bring you food? I had the flu last year, and I reached out to one of my neighbors who all created what's called a meal train. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but basically you can go online. I think it's mealtrain.com. And what they did was all of my neighbors signed up to bring us dinner every night. So we have about 20 close neighbors. So for the next 2 weeks, we had people bringing us lunch and dinner right to our door, already heated up, ready to eat, and it was actually a lifesaver. So do you have anybody to help cook meals for you and your family at a time of despair or a time of deep hurt or depression? Again, these are some meal trains that you can do. Even if there's not official meal trains, you just have some friends, family, neighbors, whatever, or even those apps that you can actually order dinner from. So again, not an option for everyone, but an option if it's something that can work for you. Number 12, what local or state agencies that offer free mental health calls can you write on your list? Are any of these agencies available 24/7? And the reason I ask if you can find out if they're 24/7 is because then you could add that additional resource to those resources that you need in the middle of the night. You know, sometimes, especially if you have anxiety, you need to have somebody talk you down, talk you out of the off the cliff. So if you do have a state or a federal or local agency that's open 24/7, you have one of those nightmares, you can just quickly call someone, and after 5 minutes, you're all set. And again, if they're that's in the middle of the night, and then if they're open during the day, you have complete access to them, and they're free. And the majority of state and federal and local, there's agencies that are out there. You just got to look or ask around. Number 13, for those that enjoy reading, what books do you have on hand, physically or on your tablet, that can help you? Maybe it's a love fantasy to help you escape. Maybe it's the Bible to help comfort you. Maybe it's a book of jokes to put a smile on your face. Now, of course, I know that you know what books you have. But again, add them to your Lifeline list for those times that you're not in the best frame of mind to think, and you just have a visual, a go-to that's easily accessible. Number 14, if you have and if you're familiar with apps, do you have apps that address your needs, whether they're daily affirmations, apps that help you meditate, apps that help you pray or relax, or soothing sounds, something that helps you sleep, healing music that calms your mind? If not apps, then how about saved YouTube videos or DVDs that are, like I said, easily accessible? And lastly, number 15, these are just some things to write on this list, again, as a go-to. Holidays, anniversaries, and annual D-days can be especially tough. We all know that, suffering betrayal. On your list, have things written as a go-to, because often the day of, you are not in the mindset to think. On your list, if you have things such as get up and exercise, talk to a friend or a professional early in the day, watch your intake of alcohol. Alcohol is a depressant. If your betrayal came from your spouse and they wrote you a letter of apology, this may be a good day or a good morning to open that letter or note or email and read it. If it's a holiday and it's within your capability, try and invite those that make you feel good. If it's an annual D-Day, plan something in advance, whether it's to volunteer to help someone else, or maybe spend some time doing something that you enjoy with someone else, or so that you feel productive, such as clean out your dresser drawers that you've been meaning to get to, or scrub those sinks and toilets. So every time you look at them, you feel good and productive. Anything that makes you feel alive, productive, good, should be on this list, and it's great. I know lots of people that love to clean and scrub their house. Not me, but a lot of people, it's very cathartic for them. I also, I have a friend who he was betrayed a while ago, and what he does is every day on his D-Day, he goes and actually sees a live comedy show. So not only is he laughing on his D-Day, but actually for weeks in advance, he's looking forward to this D-Day. So he actually changed the whole narrative of his D-Day, where, oh, I can't wait to go see A, B, or C. And like I said, he's laughing on his D-Day. Before concluding this class, I just want to say that obviously some things on this list will be temporary, like an emergency contact to pick up your kids from school, or meal trains, and other things you may use for years from this list, like my friend who's been attending a live comedy show annually for many years. Some things will be a priority now, and some things will be a priority down the road. This is your unique list, so create it and let it work for you.